We are leaving behind 2024, a year that was marked by economic uncertainty. Factors such as geopolitical tensions, global instability and inflation have left their mark in all markets. This situation has led many companies to adapt their strategies to cope with such an uncertain environment. This context doesn't seem likely to change immediately. In 2025, uncertainty looks set to remain a challenge that will set the global agenda, forcing companies to continue to adapt, grow and evolve. In the middle of the storm, some companies have demonstrated an exceptional ability to cope with this environment, confronting the challenges of a weakened economy and a society that keeps evolving faster every day. One of these companies is Cellnex, a global leader in telecom infrastructure that has consolidated its position at the forefront of the industry and as a key enabler of Europe's digital connectivity. The company has implemented a strategic plan based on organic growth, balance sheet optimization, and focused on the most strategic markets and assets to mitigate risks and take advantage of new opportunities. During the year, it renewed long-term agreements with major operators and consolidated its leadership in telecom. The company ended the year with a more stable and resilient balance sheet, thanks to the investment grade from rating agencies, and delivering on another of its promises to the market, accelerating shareholder remuneration. A key change in the company has been the appointment of Óscar Fanjul as the new chairman of Cellnex Telecom, who took up the position after being appointed by the board of directors last October. It is therefore a pleasure to have him with us today, along with Patuano, CEO of the company, to learn firsthand how Cellnex has managed to maintain its position as a leader in telecommunications infrastructure. Mr. Fanjul, Mr. Patuano, good morning. It's a pleasure to have you both with us today to learn firsthand how Cellnex has managed to maintain its leadership at the telecommunications infrastructure. Mr. Fanjul, what is your assessment of these past few months in office, and also what is your view on the company's corporate governance?
Well, I mean, regarding what you have said about Cellnex is a relatively new company. It's only 10 years old. This year will be 10 years old. I think it is the history of success. I mean, it has been growing during these 10 years. It's in 10 countries. It's a very multinational company. We have, from the point of view of the corporate governance that you mentioned, it's also very international. I mean, our CEO is Italian. There are several board members from different countries, Austria, England, France, Spain. We have also a very multinational management team in the company, and I think that to a great extent, that's one of the reasons of the success of this company.
And what is your view on how markets have assessed Cellnex's performance this year? And also, maybe you can share with us an outlook for 2025.
Well, I think the most important thing for us is that our clients are happy with us. We are investing in order to satisfy their requirements, and we have a very good relations and very good loyal clients. Mm-hmm. In our sector, it's an infrastructure sector. It has been strongly affected, as all the infrastructure companies, by the increase in rates in the past years after the inflation that followed the COVID. But I think our commitment to deliver returns for the shareholders is a priority. Mm-hmm. We have been receiving supply of capital from our shareholders during this period of growth, and now we have already started to give back to our shareholders this capital. Mm-hmm. And we have announced that we are going to start this year a important share buyback program. Mm-hmm. And we are also going to increase the dividends that we pay, and very soon we will announce our dividends policy, for instance.
Mr. Patuano, the company finished the year delivering consistent business performance and solid operational execution. What were the main factors that contributed to the company's financial result?
We were coming from years of strong inorganic growth, so putting together the company was a challenge, and I think that 2024 has been really a very important foundational year in this sense. Then we had to move from inorganic growth to organic growth, and this is a change of mindset. It's another way of approaching the market than going every day trying to receive new orders, new contracts, winning the sale process, which again bring us to the importance of the relation with the client. In parallel, we had a financial structure that was quite stressed. We had too much level, and as the chairman was saying, interest rates going up was not really the best moment for having generous debt. So we had to early repay part of this debt, and so we made some decisions which went through a portfolio rationalization. We have been selling some assets, some entire countries, some part of our portfolio. In March last year, we have been just investment grade, which is super important for us. All the infrastructure company have a quite, I would say, generous quantity of debt. And so it's important that you are considered investment grade in order to lower the cost of your debt.
Free cash flow turned positive in 2024, in line with the objectives set for the entire financial year. What were the keys to this milestone, and also is it sustainable, which is an important factor?
Yeah, I would say something even more important. We have been free cash flow positive without reducing our commitment vis-a-vis the investment we promised to our clients. Mm-hmm. So we maintained a very important amount of capex, and we've been turning the company free cash flow positive. Well, it's all about being quite rigorous in all which is cash disbursement. So good processes bring you to better service and lower costs. A good capital allocation brings you to invest the capex where you have the better returns on your capex. The organic growth gives you the possibility of having more resources that you can eventually reinvest in the interest of your clients. I think that the secret of this story is to be coherent in what you do. Mm-hmm. We're an industrial story. We are the largest player in Europe. I think we are really setting the trend of the industry.
Mr. Fanjul, Cellnex continues to be a sustainability benchmark in its sector, acknowledged by the main global certifiers and using specific measures to reduce resource consumption and also contribute to decarbonization in an energy-intensive sector. What were the main milestones of this year?
Well, I mean, when I joined Cellnex, I was very positively surprised by what they have been doing in the last years. I mean, they have reduced the consumption of the emissions of CO2 very rapidly, more than expected. The company is planning to be carbon neutral in 2035. And in 2024, I think we achieved the objectives that we had in order to achieve this 2035 challenge. We don't do that for advertising. We do that because we believe that we have to do that. And mm-hmm. That's what the type of company we want to be.
Mr. Patuano, this year you also achieved another milestone, improving your S&P credit rating to investment grade. What impact has your improved credit rating had? And also, are you comfortable with this 80% of your debt being a fixed rate in the current interest rate environment?
The investment grade for us is super important because going forward, we will continue investing and we will continue returning resources to our shareholders. This is the normal life of a good healthy company. You remunerate your capital and you invest in the interest of your clients for your growth. In order to do this, the capital that we need to put at work is billionaire. Our industry works in billions, so it's a very, very big numbers. And in this sense, the investment grade give to the debt holders or to the borrowers give a strong insurance that our company is solid and is able to repay the debt. This brings down the cost of our debt, and this is very important. About the fixed and variable part of the debt, even though interest rates went a bit up, so we've been for some years in the zero interest rate environment, which is a bit an artificial environment. We continue to consider that now our cost of debt can be around 3%, and it deserves to be fixed because in any case is a good amount.
You mentioned, Mr. Fanjul, that one of your objectives would be shareholders' remuneration, and you have announced a share buyback program for this year. Do you plan to extend shareholder remuneration this year and beyond? And also, maybe to what extent is this objective conditioned by your rating? What other factors could help to boost remuneration?
Well, I mean, when I became chairman of the company not a long time ago, I said that we have three priorities. One of them was growth. We want to continue growing. The second was cutting costs because we're a new company. We have grown through acquisitions very rapidly, and we have to consolidate that. There is room for reduction of cost, and the priority will be the return of our shareholders. And we started with the share buyback program that we want to continue in the following years, and we are going also to increase the dividends and commit ourselves to pay dividends, have a well-defined dividend policy in the past. And I think that we will have some good news in that respect in this year also, additionally to what we have already done, but also in the following years.
It would be interesting to go deep into the Australian and Irish businesses' sales. What are your role divestments playing in the company's overall strategy? And also, have you identified any other assets that do not fit into your current strategy and could potentially be sold?
To be honest, the kickoff of our review of the portfolio was also our capital structure. We had too much debt, and so this was possibly one of the reasons why we started the exercise. But I think that going forward, the strategic review was even more industrial and not only merely purely financial. What we tried to do was to identify in each and every country what was our market position, and if our market position is not strong enough, exit from the market or strengthen the market. So there's nothing in between. If you cannot strengthen your position, you have to exit from the market, because otherwise it's not a rational capital allocation. But reviewing the market, reviewing your portfolio and your market position in each and every market is an everyday job. We have to consider how we can grow, or if we cannot grow, what is the best allocation of our capital. So this is something we do periodically, we do every day, because we have to best allocate the resources. So yes, there can be the possibility of further asset rotation in both senses. Mm-hmm. We can grow or we can divest.
Mm-hmm. Let me go through a few names. MasOrange in Spain, Vodafone in the UK, and Virgin Media O2 in the United Kingdom as well. Iliad in France. This year, you've either extended or renewed contracts with major European operators, cementing long-term partnerships. Are these types of relationships still essential to your business strategy? And if so, why?
Well, our business is based on duration. We make infrastructure. Infrastructure have to last long. When you build a tower lasts 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. So the relation with the client has not to be opportunistic. It has to be a long-term duration in this relation. So if you take the average duration of our portfolio is more than 15 years. So every time you get close to the expiration of one of those windows of staying together, you have to sit with your clients, you have to check if everything is okay, and how we can increase the profitability, the mutual profitability of the relation. I think that up to now we did very well. So yes, it is fundamental to have a long-term relation and long-term contracts.
Does Europe's telecom sector need continental champions, as Mario Draghi pointed out in his report on European competitiveness? Will maybe consolidation allow Europe to compete with China or the US on a level playing field?
I think that the point that Mr. Draghi made was about competitiveness, and competitiveness goes hand in hand with investments. So I think that there are 2 points. One is in order to make billionaire investment, you need to be big. If you're not big enough, you have not enough resources to make these investments. And in the mobile, we're talking about the 5G, but after the 5G, there will be the 6G, and after the 6G, someone will invent something else. So it's a story that every time you have to cover a country with a new technology, we're talking about billions. And so you need healthy companies and big companies. On the other hand, these investments need to be duly compensated. You cannot imagine that investor put money without having a return. So we have to find the right balance between the interest of the client, which is you cannot pay as a luxury good for something that today is absolutely part of our day-by-day life. But at the other end, you cannot depress too much the profitability of the companies, because otherwise they will not find the resources for making the investments. So yes, I think that some consolidation is needed. But this consolidation has a clear goal: to increase the investment without penalizing too much the end consumer. And I think it is possible.
Are we becoming accustomed to instability and to increasing unforeseen risks? How would you rate the macroeconomic and geopolitical context of 2024? And also, how do you see it evolving in 2025?
I think that from a macroeconomic point of view, we had a good 2024, and there are reasons to be optimistic about 2025 if you see growth in the world is significant. I mean, the weak point probably is Europe and China, but I mean, from a macroeconomic point of view, I think the situation is reasonable. I think the 2 main concerns, in my opinion, are first, if Europe will do what they have to do, what we have to do, in order to have more growth. I mean, growth is our main challenge. Europe is not growing. We have to grow because almost everything depends on growth, everything related to welfare and on well-being of the people. And the other concern is from a geopolitical point of view, the situation that we have among the big countries, China, United States, and the belief of some of those countries that they believe in zero-sum games instead of collaboration. I mean, we are listening every day. I mean, there are some countries that they believe that they can improve if the others do worse. And I think we can always do better if we can collaborate. And I think that tariff war is an example, is a very bad decision. And there is a lot of concern about what could happen with this type of approach to international economic problems.
And last but not least, Mr. Patuano, what industrial role will Cellnex play in the area of hyperconnectivity and AI?
The traditional communication environment was mostly about coverage, having the mobile signal or receiving a good connectivity, calling it fiber, calling it other ways. I think that this is something in the vast majority of Europe almost achieved. Now, the next step is about quality of this connectivity, or if you want, capacity of this connectivity, because every day we ask more. It's not calling, it's sending a picture, making a video call, or watching the television when I'm in the airport. I have nothing to do. These require new kind of network, much more powerful, or what we say, much more dense. So the density is a concept of capacity to bring more content, more data, carry more data. The next step, the one that is going to be required by the artificial intelligence, is that it's not only to have a big quantity of data, but these data have to be delivered very quickly. And this is going to redesign the networks. Networks have to be more denser, but even more performing. We can play an incredible role in this because we are specialized in this, and we are getting more and more specialized. I think that the real secret is that tower companies are moving from a sort of a real estate game to an engineering game. We are more and more an engineering company voted to solve connectivity issues. And I'm very optimistic in this. We are very good in this.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you to
Mr.
you.
Patuano,
Thank you.
Mr. Fanjul, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us.
Thank you very much.